Guys, today we've got the top 10 best sneakers dropping in May. Adidas says they're gonna have to raise prices on sneakers, and Nike is being sued for rug pulling thousands of people. Welcome to the midweek re-up. There's some juicy stuff to get into today, but I'm feeling pretty good because guess what released today? The Jumpman Jacks, and let me just show you something, guys. We got them. I'm pretty sure this is my first ever Travis Scott Jordan W. Let me know if you managed to grab him this morning on the Nike sneakers app, or maybe you hit on the Travis Scott website a couple days ago. Now, another one that released is the Corteiz Nike Air Max 95 Honey Black. This release is a little bit confusing because there's so many different drops. New York had a pop-up, London had a pop-up. The only releases that are left is the website Corteiz release, which is happening today at 11 a.m. PT or 2 p.m. ET Eastern Time. If you're in the UK, it's 6 p.m. But obviously, by the time you're seeing this, let me know if you managed to get them or not. And then also, we are supposed to be getting a Nike sneakers app release. This is probably going to be a little bit of a weird one. I don't think it's going to be a straightforward load up and then just enter a draw. It looks like it's going to be some kind of sneakers cam or stash drop, meaning you have to be in a certain location or you have to scan some kind of image or poster and then be able to scratch it off and get the shoes. There's no actual date for the Nike sneakers app. We just know as of right now that it's happening most likely a few days after the Corteiz drop, which again is today. So if we get any more information, I will let you guys know. But as always, let me get you guys prepared for the month ahead. Of course, I'm talking about May, which is pretty stacked. So you're going to want to know what exactly is dropping and what you need to prioritize. So before we get into the top 10, quick rundown of the Supreme drop, which is going to be happening tomorrow, May the 1st. Here's your times, 11 a.m. EST, that's for the US, 5 p.m. EU time, 4 p.m. UK, and then in Asia, it's like Saturday or something. Here's all the prices for all the different products. You got some cool stuff in here, some pretty wacky stuff, if I'm being honest. Bunch of cool little accessories, a little flip mirror for some reason. These are not bad zip hoodies. I do not mind them at all. This is a freaking, what do you call this thing that you like hold on to and go in the water like a handheld jet ski? Bunch of decks, crazy artwork on these shirts and that sweater up there. Some tracksuits, sweatsuits. Jeez, who's getting the leopard print freaking baseball jersey? That denim is not bad. It's a little bit much, but it's kind of cool. Either way, all of this is going to be dropping tomorrow. Just wanted to give you a quick reminder. If you're after any of this, if you like what you see, let me know down in the comment section, but let's get into that top 10. Right, so coming in at number 10 is a release that's literally happening tomorrow, so you're going to want to stay awake for this one. The Nike Air Max 95 Pink Foam. This one seems to be super hyped up. Not really my thing. I mean, I never really got on with this colorway. Maybe it's more of a woman's color. I don't know. Either way, tons of people are excited about it. And yes, this is going to have the big bubble, which is something that I think is really interesting. I'm trying to get those neons, but they seem freaking mythical and super limited. These, I'm sure, are also going to be very limited. Either way, they are going to be dropping tomorrow if you're interested. Taking the number 9 spot, a pair of shoes that I think a decent amount of people are pretty happy is back. This is the Nike SB P-Rod 1. They're coming back with this retro drop on May the 16th. We got the official images. It's pretty much a remake. You've got the little silver accents on the eye stays and the tongue for the Nike SB branding. Cool pair of shoes. We've spoke about them a bunch in the past, but just want to securely place its spot in the top 10 list. Next up, we got a pair of 12s, the Jordan 12 Mellow colorway, which is going to be dropping May the 17th. As of right now, looks to be pretty much confirmed. Solid pair of shoes, solid pair of 12s. I mean, super clean for the summertime if you're into that. Either way, these definitely need to make the list. Taking the number 7 spot, definitely a solid one. Maybe not necessarily a sneaker, but still needs to make the list. The Nike React X Rejuvenate Slide. So obviously, people went crazy about the clog, the Crocs looking one, Yeezy foam runner looking one, but the slides I think are the cooler thing because I just feel like they're a lot more wearable. It's something that you're probably going to want for the summertime. If you're out of slides, you don't have a pair of Yeezy slides or something like that, this is a very comfortable option that looks decent. So this is going to be dropping May the 15th, right in time for summer. You've got a ton of colorways. Some of these colorways have dropped, but other ones are going to be dropping May the 15th. You've got black, which I know is already released here in the UK. You've got a taupe color. You've got a aqua blue color, which is a banger, by the way. You got the maroon pair, a resin colorway, hot pink. This one, what is that, like apricot? If you're after them, definitely recommend. And also you could check out the review if you want to kind of see what you're getting into. Coming in at number 6, the Jordan 3 Rare Air. Now this one has already released for the UK, the EU, but for you guys out in the US, it's going to be dropping May the 30th. Solid pair of 3s. I understand that, you know, if you've bought the Amamenyers or the Black Cements, and there's so many like mostly black Jordan 3s that have been releasing, I understand if you're going to pass up on these, but it's a very clean colorway. It's got great materials and it's pretty unique. The storytelling inspired by mistakes on shoes with this mirrored Nike Air branding on the back. bag. It's pretty cool. Coming in at number 5, a pair of shoes that we've been anticipating for the longest time, but it is finally dropping. The Nike SB Dunk Low Tourmaline. These are going to be dropping May the 9th. Again, they're calling this BHM, which is for Black History Month, which was February, so I don't know necessarily why they pushed it all the way to May. Regardless, it's a clean pair of shoes. It's inspired by black cowboys and cowboy culture, and they really play into that theme with this sneaker. Bunch of cool details. You get a freaking little handkerchief in there as well, a cool box, some extra laces, dope insoles, so a lot of like special packaging and added extras. Coming in at number 4, we got the Kobe 6 Dodgers, which are going to be releasing again. So I think they dropped, was it April or March or something like that, but it was super exclusive. I think it was through Undefeated only, but now they should be getting a wider release, maybe something through the Nike sneakers app on May the 30th. They're $175. They're clean as hell. It's a cool pair of shoes. Definitely number 4. Couple little bonus hits before the top 3. Sakai and Nike just announced another collaboration pretty much out of nowhere. This is the Zega Madome. I'm sure a pair of shoes that's inspired by 2 different Nike sneakers. I'm just not entirely sure what to. They come in 3 different colorways. This I guess yellow and gray one, this all over black pair, and then this sail and gum sole pair, which I think is pretty clean. Now look, it's a weird pair of shoes. I don't really think Sakai and Nike have been on their shit for a while now. It's like they dropped the LD waffle, the vapor waffle, and then it was just kind of downhill from there. Nevertheless, it looks like an interesting pair. Who knows? I could be surprised if I get it in and it looks incredible, but it's definitely trail inspired. It looks a little bit more rugged and distressed. May the 9th if you're interested in these. And then the last one is the Asia Wilson Nike collaboration, the A1. This is the pearl white colorway, which would be my favorite. These are going to be dropping on the 15th, but of course you have the launch pair, which is this pink one. These are dropping May the 6th. This white one, just like a bunch of different colors on this are really appealing. I think it's a good looking pair of basketball shoes from Nike. But let's get into this top 3. Starting at number 3, we got the Air Jordan 1 High UNC Reimagined, a pair of shoes that this is just such a great pair of Jordan 1s. May the 10th if you're after these. If you want to see a full review on them, I don't know, I'll put it up here or down in the description. Still can't believe these are dropping, but coming in at number 2, the Air Jordan 3 Sol 2.0, dropping May the 15th. We haven't really had any official images or anything like that, so we've just got like some close-up shots of these things looking really nice, in my opinion. You get a special box, you get a bunch of cool little 2.0 details on here. Materials look nice. I mean, packaging is super unique, so there's that. You got like this velour sock liner. It's definitely an interesting pair of shoes that I think the whole inspiration behind it would be interesting. I know obviously, you know, we had the 1.0s, this is the 2.0, but just like specifically why are they doing a 2.0 is what I'm interested in. Either way, May the 15th for these. But coming in at number 1, the Air Jordan 4 White Cement. These are dropping May the 24th. They are a banger. Apparently there's a decent amount of pairs, so it shouldn't be that hard to get one. But yeah, if you'd like more info on this pair of shoes, there is a full review. Again, I'll drop it down in the description. In other news, Nike wants to charge you $130 for some beat down dirty Air Force Ones. That's right. This has got to be one of the wildest things I've seen Nike do in a minute. So this is the dirty triple white Air Force One. Now the cool thing about it, kind of cool, is apparently they get cleaner when you wear them. So this is going to be part of their dot swoosh thing that we got all of those Air Maxes, the poly Air Maxes with, except this one, a little bit of a change up in terms of vibe. So they got a little description here. It says, but you're only scratching the surface. Here is the Nike Air Force One dirty triple white. The more you wear it, the more beautiful it becomes. It's that simple. It's black and white. We put a toothbrush in there too, in case you want to take these things into your own hands, do your thing. So they're selling you beat up forces and being like, here's a toothbrush to clean it with. You couldn't include anything better. I mean, they beat these things down pretty accurately. I mean, in the video, this person is cleaning them, which is like, what the hell is the point in that? I don't understand how the more you wear them, the cleaner they get. That doesn't really make sense to me unless you're literally cleaning them. It's not like necessarily wear away material, is it? Doesn't look like there's much of a difference, bruh. I don't know. It's it's a very strange idea. It feels very mischief at this point, like something that they would do, some kind of, arty, cool, interesting idea. Either way, these are going to be dropping May the 7th. I don't know, like, are you into this? Is this something you would pick up just because it's a fun idea? Or like, practically speaking, is this something you're into? I don't know. Bunch of brands are obviously really into that distressed vibe when you pick up a pair of shoes. This one at least has the potential of getting cleaner over time, I guess. Either way, they are going to be dropping on the Nike sneaker sneakers app, let me know if you would buy these. Now, speaking of shoes that wear away, we just got some closer images of the upcoming Air Jordan 1 High self-expression. Concept on these is probably a lot more simple than the Air Forces. This one is essentially they're giving you like an all black pair of Jordan 1s, but then there's layers of colors underneath. So you can kind of scratch it away or wear it away and it's going to look different over time. Now, these images don't really showcase what the colors are underneath, although you can kind of see it with like all of the raw edges of the leather. You can see that the swoosh is going to be blue. A lot of red panels on here, especially from this top-down shot you can see. But there is different layers within them. Like I think the next layer is some white, so different panels can be white, different panels can be blue, red, and a bunch of other colors. Straight out the box though, they do look very plain. I think it's a cool concept and maybe could look good, but I think we're going to have to see some people, you know, showing us a little bit of an example before we actually make the purchase. Like, how can you actually make these things look compelling and good? Otherwise, it's kind of a gamble. Either way, the release date as of right now is set for August the 9th. They're going to retail for $180. Now, another pair of shoes that's going to be dropping in May, a little bit of a crazier one. Swarovski and Crocs are dropping some kind of collection, which is looking wild. So they got this one over here, which honestly, I think like some of the designs on the top look pretty cool. Obviously, this is like the platform version, which I think is a women's release. But then down here, they've got a little bit more of like just a solid crystal one. It almost looks like a butterfly wing or something like that. This is on the standard pair of Crocs. You've also got a black colorway in this one, by the way. Crazy. I don't know how much they retail for. I don't think they've listed it over here, but I imagine they're pretty expensive, especially for Crocs. Either way, if you're interested in these flashy shoes, May the 6th, which is Tuesday, let me know if you're going to be after these. Sticking with Crocs, we've got another collaboration dropping. This one's a triple collab, I guess. Nina Chanel Abney, Soleil Bembury, and Crocs. Oh yeah, and it's limited to just 1,000 pairs. So this is a very similar thing to what they did, or what Soleil Bembury did with Futura when they created those like greenish blue pair. This one just has Nina's kind of stamp on it, I guess. Very crazy, very wild, interesting looking pair, but honestly not for me. I don't think I would go through the trouble of something that's going to be this limited for something that I'm not that interested in. Actually, these dropped today, so none of us have an option. April 30th, beasponge.com, they could have already dropped. Over the past few weeks, we've been talking about the whole tariff thing that is going to raise the price of sneakers. We've spoke about how much they potentially could cost, but for the first time, an actual brand executive has confirmed their prices are going up. And of course, it's Adidas who decided to address this. Here's a little quote. Higher tariffs will eventually cause higher costs for all of our products for the US market. So this is pretty big news. So they're anticipating, like, it's still a stalemate. This is still going to, go forward. It's not like they've done any negotiations to kind of stop the fact that products are going to be a lot more expensive. And that really does include the US market for sneakers. Adidas is just the first one to come out and publicly say it, but all of them are going through the same stuff because pretty much all of the big brands, New Balance, Adidas, Nike, Puma, they all kind of produce their shoes in the same places, largely in China, which is where all of these tariffs are going to make the biggest effect from. There are tariffs on other countries, but China is obviously the highest. Now, weird quote here. It says, Golden shared that the brand doesn't plan on making the first move regarding price hikes. Instead, it will keep an eye on what the competition does and assess its own plans accordingly. So this, I feel like, is an interesting point to say because as of right now, nobody has increased their prices that we know of directly correlating to the tariffs. So I kind of feel like it's one of those things where they might all kind of unite and raise their prices together. Otherwise, it could cause a situation where, like, if one brand raises their prices, everyone's going to be like, what the hell is this? I'm not going to be buying Adidas anymore. I'm going to go to Nike or whatever. So I feel like they all kind of have to band together and raise their prices if that's the case. You know how whoever the first company was, Apple decided to remove the charging brick from the boxes, and then now every single brand does that and all you get is a cable? That's kind of how it is, where, like, you know, if one brand does it, they're all going to follow and start raising prices. Now, these tariffs are in effect, so it's only a matter of time before we start hearing from other brands, Nike, Puma, all of the other big ones, and what they're going to be doing and how much prices will change. But from previous videos that where we spoke about this topic, it's probably going to be like 10-20 bucks on top of any other price. So a pair of Air Forces now are $115. It might go up to $125 or $140. How long that will last, I'm not entirely sure, but brands are not usually known to drop their prices. So, like, even if the tariff situation gets sorted. Brands have already raised their prices. I wonder if they would go back down or just take more profits. Probably the latter. The main statement that Bjorn Golden made, since we currently cannot produce any of our products in the US, these higher tariffs will eventually cause higher costs for all of our products for the US market. Given the uncertainty around the negotiations between the US and other exporting countries, we do not know what the final tariffs will be, so they're gonna have to figure that out. Bottom line is, as of right now, it looks like for you guys out in the US, things are gonna get pretty painful in terms of like new sneaker releases. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, but yeah, not a fun place to be. This one is a crazy story, super interesting, and I don't know if I necessarily saw it going this way, but Nike faces a lawsuit over the collapse of the sneaker-themed NFTs. So essentially, Nike is getting sued for rug pulling thousands of people. So you guys remember back in, what was it, 2021, 2022, Nike acquired or bought Artifact, which is a Web3 company that sold NFTs and other products. I think there was some kind of confusion that maybe Nike and Artifact were kind of collaborating, but Nike literally acquired them. And together, Nike and Artifact launched a bunch of NFTs. They had a bunch of different things that were going on with it, like forging events where you could exchange these NFTs for physical Nike shoes. I'm sure you guys can remember if you were kind of into all of this back then, but this was a huge deal, especially for the NFT Web3 community. And at that time, the prices for CloneX NFTs were worth $3,000 to $10,000. But today, those prices ain't looking so good. So if you take a look at this chart, which I found, we got a bunch of different ones, but essentially they all kind of tell the same story, where like back when it first launched, we've got a huge price bump of like $57,000 US, $63,000 US were like the prices around this point. The market crashed when the news broke that Nike just decided to cut ties and basically dissolve Artifact. So this was December 2024. Nike announced that they're shutting it down. They're no longer going to be doing anything with Artifact. So no more forging events, no new updates, no future. This kind of came out of nowhere, and a lot of people were super upset and confused. Upon this news, the prices plummeted and people felt like they were left holding the bag. Holders of all of these NFTs felt like they had just been pulled. So now it brings us to today, where they're actually filing a lawsuit, or they have filed a lawsuit, and they're going after Nike. Now this is, I guess, thousands of people, whoever owns the NFTs. Now this, again, great post by Sneaker Legal. He basically goes over everything that this lawsuit kind of states and kind of picks out different things. This was the part where we were talking about, me and a buddy were looking at the values last week, and many of the clones were $300 to $400 or under compared to what they used to be. Essentially what this lawsuit claims is that Nike's used its brand to pump the NFTs, you know, by building hype. Obviously it's Nike attached to something like this. It absolutely drew the hype up, and then they abandoned the project, which is a rug pull, at least according to this lawsuit. So people invested, expected profit, and Nike was in control of all of this, and when they pulled out, it was kind of deceptive and abandoning the project. Some key points in the lawsuit that they basically state that Nike kind of controlled all of the perks, the values, and the hype behind it. Unlike Bitcoin, which is decentralized, Nike controlled the entire ecosystem of this. The lawsuit also says that Nike knew how much the value of this stuff was worth based on them. Without them, the value would not be there, and they're claiming that Nike knew that. Now, interestingly, at the end here, they're talking about that pretty much anybody who owned or was part of this whole thing can join this lawsuit. It says here, if you're an Artifact NFT holder, you could and should be getting notified about this class action lawsuit. Could Nike actually have to pay depending on what the court decides? Well, yes, and it could be pretty damaging. So essentially, if the court finds that Nike sold unregistered securities or engaged in deceptive practices, even without calling or defining this as a security, they may have to pay. They may have to refund some or all of the NFT buyers, pay damages for financial losses, disgorge profits, return what they made, cover legal costs. We're not entirely sure, but at this point, it just seems like any NFT project that any of these brands freaking got involved with, it has been an absolute dumpster fire of a failure. I mean, I still think about poor StockX who decided to try and get into the NFT game, and then what happened? They got sued by selling Nike, and then Nike revealed that they were selling fake sneakers, and it just became this whole thing that StockX is kind of like, damn, if we knew, we probably wouldn't have even released the goddamn NFTs. I do think it was pretty strange how quickly they ended the whole thing. Like, it literally came out of nowhere. Like, the whole artifact Nike thing seemed like a really cool idea from at least the physical products that they made. I really liked the dunks that they did. Now, the whole NFT side of things is not something I'm super into, so I never really would have invested in any of that. But obviously, there is the other side to this. Like, people are obviously going to blame the people who bought into this and say that you should have known or something like that. It's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Either way, people are pissed, and there is thousands of them. Let me know what you think down in the comment section, and did you buy into any of the Nike artifact NFTs? If so, let me know your thoughts. But there you have it. That wraps it up for this week. Again, we do this every single Wednesday and every single Sunday, so if you want to stay in the loop with all of the latest information when it comes to sneakers, fashion, leaks, rumors, all of the good stuff, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you want to catch another video, there is one chilling right over there.